Hello, hello, welcome everybody. My name is Alistair. Today I'm going to be doing something very fun. We're going to be going over a book that has changed my life. And if you're in business, there's a good chance that you've heard about this book or that it has changed your life in one way or another. This is called $100 Million Offers. And this book is by a guy named Alex Hormozi. And if you haven't heard of Alex Hormozi, I highly recommend you check him out. He came up on the scene, I'd say this in the past few years, but he originally started in the gym space. So he created a business called Gym Launch. He started his own gyms, and then he helped other people launch their gyms. And one of the things that he specialized in is creating these offers, these high ticket offers, and not even necessarily super high ticket, but they were the type of offers that would allow him to get a return on the front end on advertising. So I don't want to spoil it and get too much into it, but this particular book right here, extremely influential. If somebody is just thinking about getting into marketing and getting into business, um, or if you have a business already and are struggling, I highly would recommend checking out this book. Again, it's called $100 Million Offers. I purchased the book. I listened to the audio book at first, and it was very impactful. It was very interesting. He tells a lot of stories in there, and definitely a good read for anyone that's just looking to level up their skill in general. So I'm gonna wait till I get another person or two in here before we start the live reading. But in the meantime, I wanted to just say that I'm going to be going live um, every day for the next 5 days or until Friday. And the purpose of the which is a few different things. One is to just continue to increase my skill as a public speaker, increase my skills as a content creator. I'm going to take this content, maybe chop it up a little bit, but also to increase my reach. But most importantly, to teach people about the topics that are very near and dear to my heart, which are marketing and sales, the cornerstone of what helped me grow my business. And I know that you guys also are going to be able to have similar experiences. So I'm going to share this live in one of my groups here, and when I do that, it's going to help me to get a little more viewers here, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I know you guys are anxious to get into it. Um, so 1 second here. All right. So just shared that live there. Um, so again, we're going to be reading $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi, a book that's very influential. And let's get right into it. All right, you ready? Okay. The room was pitch black. This was December 24th, 2016, Christmas Eve. So this was about 8 years ago, just 8 years ago. The room was pitch black. My shoes stuck to a floor covered in dry soda and crushed bits of candy. Full with the smell of stale popcorn, we had showed up too late to get good seats and ended up pressed near the front of the theater. Just a few hours and just a few rows in front of me, the movie's blazing projection. Excuse me 1 second while I fix this. Okay, 1 second here. Excuse me. Okay, perfect. All right. Just a few rows in front of me, the movie's blazing projection occupied my entire field of view. In the reflected glow, I could see outlines of Layla's family's faces. They may well have been hypnotized. I envied them. They sat entranced, soaking in their paid time off for Christmas. Must be nice. Anybody else would have missed it, but Layla, my girlfriend at the time, knew me too well. Anybody else would have thought I was watching the movie, but Layla could tell I was staring blankly at the screen. My eyes not tracking the movie. My face was pale. My cheekbones and jawline appeared gaunt. Weeks of chronic stress had killed my appetite. What's wrong? She asked. I didn't answer. She rested her hand on mine to get my attention. I didn't react. Within moments, her fingers tightened around my wrist, and she looked at me, her eyes searching for mine. Your heart is racing, she whispered, concerned. Without asking, she took my pulse. It was 100 beats per minute, nearly twice of what it should be for a fit 27-year-old male at rest in a cool, dark room. What's going on? She asked more forcibly, but still whispering. The truth is, I was terrified. A few hours earlier, I looked like a giant. I sat scrunched up in a children's miniature playchair. My knees almost touched my chest, even with my feet firmly planted on the old beige carpeted floor. My laptop felt hot, sitting atop my steeply angled knees. Dolls and toys were scattered around me. They stared at me with wide eyes and toothy grins, motionless. I had been their entertainment for the past few weeks. I was in Layla's parents' house. They had recently become grandparents, and this spare bedroom as a playroom where their grandchildren visited. I didn't have a place to live, so they were letting Layla and I stay there as long as we needed. Hey, Patty. Oh, okay. Hey guys, let me know if you guys can hear everything okay. Is the audio okay? If the audio is okay, let me know. All right. Um, so I literally felt like I was playing dress up. Oh, excuse, let me go back here. I was in Layla's parents' house. They had recently become grandparents and used the spare bedroom as a playroom when the grandchildren visited. I didn't have a place to live, so they were letting Layla and I stay there as long as we needed. They had let me use the children's playroom for my business, which at the time, with this point, felt almost as make believe as the stories they had told their grandchildren in this very room. I literally felt like I was playing dress up, except the stakes were real, and this was my life. My ears were red hot from the phone being pressed against them for what felt like hours. I kept switching hands because my arms would tire from holding the phone up for so long. I'm sorry, Mr. Hormozi, the voice on the other side of the line said. We have to hold on to these funds for the next 6 months. We've seen some irregular activity, so this is precautionary. Are you fucking kidding me? 120 grand, I said. A precaution? I'm sorry, sir. Our underwriting team. Yeah, I heard you, I said, cutting them off. I don't accept that. Sir, this is not up to me. This is just our Paul. What am I going to tell my salesman who has a baby on the way? Are you going to tell him he's not going to be able to buy his pregnant wife and newborn food? Are you going to pay his mortgage for him? I was seething. 30 days earlier. No, here. Sir, he began again with unfazed apathy, just trying to deliver the news. It's not yours to take. My aggression was quickly turning into desperation. Shit, just send me half so I can pay my employees, I pleaded. It's Christmas Eve, for fuck's sake. Sir, we're gonna be holding on to the entirety of the funds for the next 6 months per your agreement. The voice faded. Fuck. I hung up and checked my accounts. $23,036. I owed my salesman $22,000 commission check for $120,000 in sales I never got. Without wanting to give myself the opportunity to think about it, I wired it to him. Minus $22,000. Payment successful. Balance $1,036. Fuck. Here's a screenshot of Alex Hormozi on December 20th, 2016. $1,036 after he paid that bill. The sunlight blinded me as we emerged from the matinee. Families shuffled in and out through the revolving doors, making their happy memories. I was in a daze. Layla led me to her car, her hand wrapped firmly around mine. What's wrong? What happened? She asked. The money isn't coming. What do you mean? She asked. It's delayed? I exhaled in defeat. They're keeping it all. Can they do that? Apparently, I said stoically, trying to maintain my composure in front of her parents. What are you going to do about the commissions? I already paid him. Everything. I said it without looking at her. Layla's concern turned to dread. We sat in silence the entire way home. I stared out the window. She held my hand in hers, and it was more comforting than I anticipated. We'll get through this. 30 days earlier, I had decided to go all in on this business called Gym Lunch. Here's the idea. I would fly around the world. I'd fly around the country to gyms and filled them up with to capacity using this new methodology that hinged on an offer that I had perfected when I owned my own chain of gyms. Leading up to this moment, I had sold five of my gyms. The funds from selling them, my life's work, I had put into an account and I had with a new partner. The money was supposed to be the seed money for our new company. I was finally going to realize some level of success. My alarm went off. I groggily swung my arm over, blindly clawing at the bedside table. I switched off the alarm, while Layla managed to sleep through the commotion. I lay there silently, pulling up the bank accounts, a daily ritual. The balance said $300. Wait, that couldn't be right. There was $46,000 in here yesterday. My adrenaline surged. Looking closer, I saw minus $45,700, payment successful. I was frantic. The money from selling all of my gyms was gone. I checked where the money went to my quote partner. He had taken all of the money out. Fuck. This was the last 4 years of my life had vanished that fast. I officially had nothing, even less to show for it. No gyms, no equipment, no employees, nothing. I felt dead inside. Adding insult to injury, that same 30-day period, my mother was in critical condition of a near fatal accident and was still under 24-hour supervision. I had totaled my car in a head-on collision at 60 miles an hour and earned a DUI as my consolation prize. This was the cherry on top. My one saving grace at the time was selling a new quote challenge offer at a gym and collecting all the cash up front as my fee for turning their business around. So I did the only thing I knew. I sold. My salesman had done $120,000 in a single month and I owed him $22,000 commission check. The problem is the $120,000 never came. We need to talk, I said to Layla, and I went into the other room. I worked up the courage to speak, but stared at the floor, embarrassed. I've got nothing, I said to her. I'm a sinking ship, and you don't have to stay with me. She grabbed my chin and pulled my face towards her so she can look me into her eyes. I would sleep with you under a bridge if it came down to it. I would have cried tears of joy, but I was so emotionally exhausted, my response appeared apathetic. I wouldn't stay with me. Are you going to do these launches starting tomorrow? She asked. All my friends are quitting their jobs to do this. She was being a matter of fact, but it still stung. I felt defeated. Listen, this could go horribly wrong. I trust you. We'll figure it out. I had two things left at this point. Number one, a grand slam offer and an old business credit card with a $100,000 limit from when I had my gyms. On the day after Christmas, 2 days after the gut-wrenching call with the payment processor, we were scheduled to launch 6 new gyms. At the same time, between airfare, hotels, rental cars, gas, and ad spend, all multiplied by 6, I was going to be spending $3,300 per day of money that I didn't have. My last dollar had gone to paying my salesman. I remember my hand just shaking as the advertisements went live from off to on. And just like that, I was going into debt at a rate of $420 per working hour. And just like that, $3,300 per day began getting deducted from my account. $3,300 less. I now have officially nothing. $3,300 less. I now have officially less than nothing. But things started shaping up. Here's what happened that month in January 2017, as documented by my old payment processing records I dug up. You can see the month along the left column and the revenue collected along the right. We made $100,000. It was just enough to cover the $3,300 per day that I've been coming off the credit card. It was actually working. I could hardly believe it. I threw a Hail Mary and the universe caught it. I went from looking up bankruptcy lawyers to figuring out what to do with $3 million in profit. I accrued within the first 12 months. It felt surreal. And in hindsight, it still kind of does. By the end of the year, we were doing $1.5 million per month. 12 months from then, $4.4 million per month. 24 months after that, we crossed $120 million in sales, donated $2 million to help fund equal opportunity in low income areas. We met and befriended Arnold Schwarzenegger, my lifelong hero, and we were asked to be board members of a charity, After School All Stars. Leila and I met meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger at his home. We are now national board of his charity, After School All Stars, creating Grand Slam offer has given us the opportunity and access to people that we only dreamed of. 12 months after that, we now have a portfolio of seven eight-figure and multiple eight-figure companies across a variety of industries: photography, publishing, fitness, business consulting, beauty, and business types: brick and mortar, chain, software, service, e-commerce, training, education. And our portfolio companies now do about $1.6 million per week and growing. I say this because I honestly can't believe it. All of this was because of a girl who believed in me, a credit card, and a Grand Slam offer. I know I teleported from rags to riches, and the natural question is how? That's what I'm going to use the rest of this book and remaining books and free courses in this acquisition.com series to break it down. The skill of making offers saved me from bankruptcy and likely saved my life. I have made so many mistakes in my life. I've made so many bad decisions. I've hurt people knowingly and mistakenly. I've done bad things with good intentions. I say this because I am human. I don't pretend to have the answers. I have my own demons that I battle every day. But despite my shortcomings, I still managed to get really good at this one thing, and I want to share it with you. I can teach you how to build great offers. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. Yes, you, the one reading this. But thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for allowing me to do the work I find meaningful. Thank you for giving me your most valuable asset, your attention. I promise to do my best to give you a positive return on it. Here's your first piece of good news. If you're reading this, then you're already in the top 10%. Most people buy stuff and promptly ignore it. I can also throw out a spoiler. The further you get in the book, the bigger the nuggets become. Just watch. This book delivers. The world needs more entrepreneurs. It needs fighters. It needs more magic. And that's what I'm sharing with you. Magic. Damn. All right. Let's take a break right there. What do you guys think so far? Is there anybody even watching this stream? If there's anybody here, let's get a comment going. Are you finding this book interesting? Have you seen this book before? Is this impactful for your life? Let's hear about it. Give me a comment, and I'm going to return to reading this book. Grand Slam offers. Make people an offer so good they feel stupid for saying no. I was a 23-year-old, and to quote Ruth from Ozark, I didn't know shit about fuck. But there I was in Las Vegas penthouse hotel room, along with 10 business owners, learning about marketing and sales in my most fashionable beast mode t-shirt, a shirt I had gotten for free, and one of the 5 shirts I owned at the time. Truthfully, I was anxious. I was self-conscious, and I thought I was making a huge mistake. I paid $3,000 of money I didn't have to get a seat at the table. I knew I needed to learn. Everyone had a business except me. I was planning on starting one, a gym. TJ, the organizer, had multiple successful businesses. While going over the agenda, I remember he made an offhand comment about making $1 million that year. $1 million. I was spellbound. I want to be like that guy. I'll do anything. The problem was, I didn't know any of them, what any of them were talking about. KPIs, CPLs, conversion rates. My head was spinning as I pretended like I knew what they were talking about, but I didn't. I'm just bad, and I'm bad at pretending. Between sessions, TJ found me. He could tell I was in way over my head. TJ was kind, curious, and caring. After a little bit of small talk, he asked me a simple question that changed my life forever. He said, "Do you want to know the secret to sales?" I had never sold anything in my life. I had never even read a book on it. I had just recently learned what this term meant. Seriously. I leaned forward, intent to download every syllable he spoke right into my brain. I opened my notepad and stared at him with intent. I was ready for the secret. He looked at me soberly and said, "Make people an offer so good they would feel stupid saying no." I nodded, wrote it down, underlined it, and circled it. And with that, my entire worldview of selling was transformed. My mind began racing. I didn't have to be skilled or even good. I just had to come up with things that anyone would say yes to. The greatest game of my life had begun. What this book is about. At some point, every successful business owner was a entrepreneur, a person full of ideas and frustrated at having potential to spare. Something clicks when they realize the horrible trade they and so many people make, trading their freedom for falsely perceived security. Their discomfort compounds, and once the discomfort of staying in the same surpasses the discomfort of change, they take the leap. I'm going to be an entrepreneur so I can be free, free to do whatever I want, with whomever I want. Some learned entrepreneurship through personal development. Others got into it through a franchise. Others bought a course. And some just said, fuck it, I'm doing it. I'll make it work. And they made it work. Most of us open up shop with the intention of helping people in some way. Many times, this assistance in some way related to something that affected us personally. We set out to give back by providing values to others by helping them solve a problem that once plagued us. Then again, sometimes this isn't our way in. And in either case, we cling to the dream of making more and being freer than we are now. Many of us thought, naively, that owning a business would be our crowning accomplishment, a final destination, when in reality, it's just the beginning. Somehow, in the transition between passionate to help others and owning my first business, we gradually realized that we don't know the first thing about business, let alone turning a profit. We may know a lot about our passion, that's why we started the business, but that doesn't mean that we know anything about succeeding in business. Much to the disappointment of the idealists on the sidelines, succeeding in business means getting prospective customers to trade us money for their services, our passion for their hard-earned coins. That's the agreement. The only way to facilitate that exchange, to transact, to literally carry out business as a business is by making the prospect an offer. So what is an offer anyways? The only way to conduct business is through value exchange. A trade of dollars for value. The offer is what initiates this trade. In a nutshell, the offer is the goods and services that you agree to provide, how you accept payment, and the terms for the agreement. It is what begins the process of getting customers and making money. It is the first thing a new customer will interact with in your business. Since the offer is what attracts new customers, it's the lifeblood of your business. No offer, no business, no life. Bad offer, negative profit, no business, miserable life. Decent offer, no profit, stagnating business, stagnating life. Good offer, some profit, okay business, okay life. Grand slam offer, fantastic profit, insane business, freedom. This book helps entrepreneurs craft those Grand Slam offers. These are offers that are so effective, profitable, and life changing that it seems they can only be the result of luck. That's how it looks to an untrained eye, at least. As you likely know, I've crafted thousands of offers over the last decade. Most failed, some did okay, and some struck gold. But I never really knew why. As Dr. Brueggelmann, a famous Stanford Business School professor, said, it is better to have understood why you failed than to be ignorant of why you succeeded. But as the data started rolling in, what seemed like luck and fortune was closer to a repeatable framework. I have been fortunate enough to have struck gold enough times to document these frameworks and have gotten lightning to strike twice. I have put up the steps and components of those frameworks in a logical and digestible format so they are easy to use. Today, like now, I'm giving you action instead of a sad but typical book of vague business theories and mental masturbation. The two main problems most entrepreneurs face and how this book solves them. Although you can make a list of problems you face a mile long, which is a great way to stress yourself out, all of these programs typically stem from two big kahunas. Number one, not enough clients. Number two, not enough cash, excess profit at the end of the month. Seems obvious, right? It costs more to make more money and time to get more clients, thereby solving one issue. And that money is coming from your profit margins, which creates problem number two. What's annoying is prospects savagely belittle our services in favor of cheaper, crappier alternatives, with the cheapest one, quote, winning. This, of course, when winning means getting to work more for even less. Sad face. Let's say you slash prices to get more customers. You may even have a full client load, but here you are, barely making it because profit margins are too thin. Quote, competition becomes a race to the bottom. If you're struggling with one of these or both of these issues, you're not alone. I've been there. Heck, I think every entrepreneur knows these challenges. I also want you to know that it's not your fault. Typical models weren't designed for profit maximization. They were designed by companies who have boatloads of funding and can operate at a loss for years. When these models were used in the real world, business owners just barely, quote, get by. They essentially buy themselves a job and work 100 hours a week to avoid working 40, a crappy trade. My guess is that if you're anything like me, you signed up for something better. Keep an open mind. The contents of this book, if executed, can transform your business fast. It's okay if you're not into money, numbers, or business models. I've done all that work for you. I'm walking you through the process step by step. I'm going to explain each of the two big problems we touched in the above in detail, including why they don't work. Then I'm going to show you the solutions and wrap this adventure up. I'm going to explain how to enhance value and maximize how much how much you make for each of your customer so that you can outmarket everyone and stack cash. We use this offer model for every niche we work with: chiros, dentists, gyms, agencies, plumbers, dog walkers, roofers, physical products, software, brick and mortar stores, and so much more. It's amazing how fast things can improve with each and every one of them when you use this framework. So what's in it for you? I've made every dumb business mistake in the book. Now you can learn from my embarrassing, brutal, multi-million dollar fuck ups without ever having to suffer the pain yourself. Building these businesses has been a very hard and emotional journey for me. I wouldn't trade these experiences for the world. However, if this book helps just one entrepreneur avoid suffering, as I did, keep their business open, or accomplish their dreams, it will all be worth it. If you're willing to exchange the time it takes to watch 2 episodes of your favorite TV show, and really study this book, if you implement even a single offer component, I can guarantee you, you will add more clients and more dollars to your bottom line. Reading this book, taking it to heart, will be the single best return on investment, return on time for your business. Nothing else will allow you to do what this book can do in the same amount of time. And that is a promise. It's a big statement. As a side benefit, implementing a new offer is about one of the easiest things to do in business. So you really can do this. This isn't some management practice or culture building hoodoo. This is the real how you sell shit for lots of money type stuff. So what's in it for me? I give all these materials, the book, accompanying course, and all the other books and courses you can find at acquisition.com for free or at cost in order to help as many people as humanly possible make more and serve more. And I have made these with the intention of providing more value than you can get from $1,000 course. Any $30,000 coaching program, and hilariously more than a $200,000 coaching college degree. And I do this because although I could sell these materials in that format, I just don't want to. I've made my money doing stuff, not teaching how to do stuff, contrary to most of the marketing community at large. So my model is different. I'll explain more in a second. That being said, there are two key archetypes I'm looking to provide value to with my published materials. For archetype number one, entrepreneurs under $3 million per year. My goal is to help get you there and earn your trust. Try just a couple of tactics from this book, watch them work, then try a few more, watch them work, and so on, and see the results in your business, the better. Once you succeed, you become archetype two, entrepreneurs at a minimum of $3 to $10 million in yearly revenue. Once you get there, or if that's you now, I'd be honored to invest in your business and help you cross the 30, 50, or $100 million mark. I don't sell coaching, masterminds, courses, or anything like that. I have a portfolio of companies and I take equity interest in them. I use the infrastructure, resources, and teams of all my companies to fast track their growth. But don't believe me? But don't believe me yet. We just met. If you're curious, my business model is simple, just like just like the four, oopsies, dang it, there. Just like the four-piece pyramid logo. One, provide value at no cost, far in excess of what the rest of the marketplace charges for. Have entrepreneurs use material that actually work and make money helping more folks. Earn the trust of hyper executor business owners who use the framework to scale their business to $3 million to $10 million and beyond. 4, invest in those businesses to make more impact at scale while helping everyone else for free. If you look carefully, the process reverse engineers success. Okay, I'm going to skip down here. Section 1, how we got here. You just finished it. Section 2, pricing, how to charge lots of money for stuff. Section 3, value, create your offer, how to make something so good people line up to buy. And Section 4, enhancing your offer, how to make it so good they feel stupid saying no. Section number 5, next steps, how to make this happen in the real world. All right, so now we're on section 2, pricing. Grow or die is a core tenet at our company. We believe that every person, every company, every organism is either growing or they're dying. Is a myth. Maintenance is a myth. What this means is if your company isn't growing, it's dying. This is a sobering reality for many of us. I learned the hard way that my business, I learned the hard way and my business suffered for a long time because of it. Let me explain. The market is continuously growing. The stock market grows at 9% a year. If we aren't growing at 9% a year, we're falling behind. Maintenance, in the most generic sense, would be 9% growth year over year. Furthermore, if you're in a growing marketplace, then you might have up to 20 to 30% per year just to keep up or risk falling behind. So you see how maintenance is a myth. So then what does it take to grow? Get more customers, increase the average purchase value, and, and get them to buy more times. This is important. Get more customers, increase their average purchase value, and get them to buy more times. That's it. Sure, there are lots of ways to acquire customers and zillions of ways to increase order value and purchase frequency, but simply put, that's it. Those are the only three ways to grow. Example, if I sell 10 clients a month and each client is worth 1,000 over a lifetime, and my business will grow at $10,000 a month. If you want to grow, you got to either sell more clients every month while maintaining suitable margins, or have them be worth more. That's it. To simplify this concept even more, there are only two ways to grow. Get more customers and increase each customer's value. Increasing each customer's value has two sub-buckets: increasing profit per purchase and increasing the number of times they buy. For this book, I highlight both of these sub-buckets as individual growth paths. I did this because I think it'll be easier to understand the money models that come in volume 3. All three, getting more customers, increasing their average purchase price, and getting them to buy more, are repeated themes in this book. But if you seek simplicity, both increasing average purchase value and increasing the number of times a customer buys results in one outcome: increasing each other's value. Business terms. Before we go any further, and to better flesh out the concepts that follow, we should take a second to define, understand, and some key concepts. When I stood in Las Vegas penthouse in my beast mode t-shirt, I was clueless about such terms. Let me help you be better than, well, me. Gross profit, the revenue minus the direct cost of servicing an additional customer. If I sell lotion for $10 and it costs me $2, my gross profit is $8 or 80%. If I sell agency services for $1,000 per month and it costs me $100 in labor to run that client's advertising, then my gross profit is $900 or 90%. This is not net profit. Net profit is what's left after all of the expenses, not just direct costs of fulfillment. Lifetime value, the gross profit accrued over an entire lifetime of a customer. This is gross profit multiplied by the number of purchases an average customer will make over their lifetime. Using the example above, if the average customer stays 5 months and pays $1,000, it costs me $100 to fulfill, then the lifetime value is $4,500. Note that indirect costs like admin, software, rent, etc. are not included in LTV. You will find different definitions for lifetime value depending on the source. The biggest difference is that some sources only count total revenue, while others focus on gross profit over the lifespan. I focus on gross profit. You may also see me refer to this as LTGP, lifetime gross profit, and other texts for clarity's sake. Value-driven versus price-driven purchases. This book was intended to be a textbook for businesses that want to grow. I've spent and continue to spend hundreds of hours on calls and in personal meeting consulting entrepreneurs on crafting their offers. I have seen the ones that take off into the stratosphere and those that fizzle. Having a grand slam offer makes it almost impossible to lose. But why? What gives it such an impact? In short, having a grand slam offer helps with all three requirements for growth: getting more customers, getting them to pay more, and getting them to do so more times. How? It allows you to differentiate yourself from the marketplace. In other words, it allows you to sell your product based on value, not price. Commoditized equals price-driven purchases, a race to the bottom. Differentiated equals value-driven purchases. Sell in a category of one with no comparison. Yes, market matters, which I will expound in the next chapter. A commodity, as I define it, is a product available from many places. For that reason, It's prone to purchases based on price instead of value. If all products are equal, then the cheapest one is the most valuable by default. In other words, if a prospect compares your product to another and thinks these are pretty much the same, I'll buy the cheaper one, then they have commoditized you. How embarrassing. But really, it's one of the worst experiences a value driven entrepreneur can have. This is a massive problem for the entrepreneur because commodities are valued at the point of market efficiency. This means that the marketplace drives the price down through competition until margins are just enough to keep the lights on, just enough to become a slave to their business. The business makes just enough to justify the owner waiting anxiously for things to quote turn around. By the time that lie is realized, they are in too deep to pivot, at least until now. A grand slam offer solves a problem. All right, taking a pause there. Uh, all right, so I think my biggest turnaround here is it talks about my biggest takeaway is learning what a grand slam offer is, what the profit is, what are the three driving forces of profit in your business, understanding that a commoditized product is going to be compared on price, and a differentiated product is a product that is judged on value. All right, so this has been about 90 minutes or so. Hopefully, it's been helpful. I thought it's fun. Obviously, Alex Hormozi is a big fan of mine. I mean, I'm a big fan of Alex Hormozi. So, anyways, I wanted to share this with you. I'm going to try to go live every day for the next 5 days or so. I'm going to go ahead and hop back in and read a little more. I thought I was live for longer, but I've only been live for like 40 minutes. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going to keep going. Um, all right, let's hop right back into it. Let me change the page. Get it back up. Okay. In other words, it allows you to sell in a category of one, or to apply another great phrase, to sell, quote, in a vacuum. The resulting purchasing decisions for the prospect is now between your product and nothing. So you can sell at whatever price you get the prospects to perceive, not in comparison to anything else. As a result, it gets you more customers at higher ticket prices for less money. If you like fancy marketing terms, it breaks down like this: increased response rates, think clicks; increased conversion rates, think sales; premium prices, think charging lots of money. Having a grand slam offer increases your response rates to advertisements, aka more people will click or take an action on your advertisement that they see containing a grand slam offer. If you pay the same amount for eyeballs, but one, more people respond, and two, more of those responses buy, and three, they buy for higher prices, your business grows. I've struck gold on my share of offers, not because I've got some superpower, but because I've done this a lot of times and failed even more. I sorted through the crap and chronically the crap that chronically fails and pocketed all the stuff that reproducibly succeeds and put it in this book. Here's the key takeaway from all this: a business that does the same work in both cases with a commoditized or a grand slam offer, the fulfillment is the same. But if one business uses the grand slam offer and another uses a commodity offer, the grand slam offer makes that business appear as if it's a totally different product. That means it's value driven versus price driven purchase. If you have a commodity offer, you will compete on price. Having a price driven purchase versus a value driven purchase and your grand slam offer, however, forces a prospect to stop and think differently to assess the value of your differentiated product. Doing this establishes you as your own category, which means it's difficult to compare prices, which means you recalibrate the prospect's value meter. Real life and Grand Slam offer money math, before and after. Okay, I'm gonna skip this. Doesn't seem that interesting. Let's skip ahead. Okay. What to look for. There is a market in desperate need of your abilities. You need to find it. And when you do, you will capitalize on it. All while wondering what took you so long. Don't be romantic about your audience. Serve the people who can pay you what you're worth. And remember that picking a market, like anything else, is always your choice. So choose wisely. In order to sell anything, you need demand. We are not trying to create demand, we're trying to channel it. This is a very important distinction. If you don't have a market for your offer, nothing that follows will work. This entire book sits atop the assumption that you at least have a quote normal market, which I define as a market that is growing at the same rate as the marketplace and that has common unmet needs that fall into one of three categories: improved health, increased wealth, or improved relationships. For example, Lloyd from the above newspaper story could have gone through the entire book and nothing in here would have worked for him. Why? Because he wanted to be targeting newspapers in a diet market. That being said, having a great market is an advantage, but you can be in a normal market that is growing at an uh, average rate and still make crazy money. Every market I've ever been in has been a normal market. You just don't actually want to be doing, you just don't actually want to be selling ice to Eskimos. Here are the basic tenets of what I look for in markets. Let's run through them before we return to the offer. When picking a market, I look for four indicators. Number one, pain. Number two, purchasing power. Number three, easy to target. Number four, organic. Number one, massive pain. They must not want, but desperately need what I'm offering. Pain can be anything that frustrates people about their lives. Bringing Being broke is painful. A bad marriage is painful. Waiting in the line at the grocery store is painful. Back pain, ugly smile pain, overweight pain. Humans suffer a lot. So for entrepreneurs, endless opportunity abounds. Okay, going back here. Sorry. Endless opportunity abounds. The degree of pain will be proportional to the price you will be able to charge. More on this in the value equation. When they hear the solution to their pain and inversely want their life would look like without this pain, they should be drawn to your solution. I have a saying, and I used to train sales teams. The pain is the pitch. If you can articulate the pain of a prospect is feeling accurately, they will almost always buy what you are offering. A prospect must have painful problem for us to solve and charge money for our solution. Let me read that again. I have a saying I used to train sales teams. The pain is the pitch. If you can articulate that the pain a prospect is feeling accurately, they will almost always buy what you are offering. A prospect must have pain for us to solve in order to charge money for our solution. Pro tip. The point of good writing is for the reader to understand. The point of persuasion is for the prospect to feel understood. Interesting. Number two, purchasing power. A friend of mine had a very good system. I'm going to skip this part of it. Okay. Okay. How about commit to the niche? I have a saying when coaching entrepreneurs on picking their target market. Don't make me niche slap you. Too often, a newer entrepreneur half-heartedly tries one offer in one market, doesn't make $1 million, then mistakenly thinks this is a bad market. Most times, that's actually not true. They just haven't found their Grand Slam offer yet to apply to that market. They think, I'll switch from helping dentists to helping chiropractors. That's it. But when in reality, both of those are normal markets and represent billions of dollars in revenue. Either would work, not both. You must pick one. No one can serve two masters. I have coined the term niche slap to remind entrepreneurs in my community to commit once they pick. All businesses and all markets have unpleasant characteristics. The grass is never greener once you get to the other side. If you keep hopping from niche to niche, hoping that the market will solve your problems, you deserve to be niche slapped. Honestly, I deserve to be niche slapped because I'm guilty of this, but that's just me. You must stick to whatever you pick long enough to have trial and error. You will fail. In fact, you will fail until you succeed, but you will fail far longer if you keep changing who you market to, because you must start over from the beginning each time. So pick, then commit. Riches are in the niches. The other reason to commit to a niche because of how much more money you will make. Simply put, niching down will make you far more money. Author's note: when to broaden. Advice for most people. If you are under $10 million, niching down will make you more money. After that, it will depend how narrow your niche is, or what is called TAM, total addressable market. The business can really only grow to meet total addressable market. That being said, for most people, getting into $10 million per year is already a top 0.4% achievement. Only 1 in 250 businesses will ever achieve this. Uh, okay. When I truly grasped how much more profit I was leaving on the table, it changed my life. It was what took me from doing acquisition for anyone to teaching it to a specific avatar. In my instance, I decided on a micro gym owner with less than 100 members, a signed lease, at least one employee, and I wanted to help clients lose weight. That's pretty specific compared to small business owners or anyone that will pay me, which is common. And I was very specific. In that business, Gym Launch, we turned down, and still do, anyone who is not that avatar. That means no personal trainers, no coaches, etc. Could I have helped them? Of course I could have. I mean, heck, the majority of our portfolio is comprised of non-gym companies. But in order to maintain proper product focus, high converting messaging, knowing exactly who the product was for was a game changer. It helped us know exactly who we were speaking to at all times and exactly whose problems we were solving. But simplicity and ease may not be enough to sway you. So let me illustrate why honing in on one niche will make you more money. Reason: you can literally charge 100 times more for the exact same product. Dan Kennedy was the first person to illustrate this for me, and I will do my best to pass on the torch to you in these pages. So we have product is time management. You can charge $19. Charge time management for sales professionals, $100. Time management for outbound B2B sales, $4.99. Time management for outbound B2B power tools and gardening sales reps, $19.97. Dan Kennedy taught me this, and it changed my life forever. Let's say you sold a generic course on time management. Unless you were some massive time management guru with compelling or unique story, it would be unlikely that it would turn into anything significant. What do you think yet another time management course is valued at? $19, $29? Sure. Nothing to write home about. Let's just say $19 for illustration's sake. Now, we shall unleash the power of niche pricing in various stages in your product. So let's imagine you make the product more specific, keeping the same principles and calling it time management for sales professionals. All of a sudden, this course is more specific type of person. We could tie their increase to even one or more sale, and one or more deal would be worth more. But there are a lot of salespeople, so this might be a $99 product. Neat, but we can do better. So let's go down another level of niching and call our product the time management for B2B sales outbound sales reps. Following the same principles of specificity, now we know that our salespeople are probably having experienced deals and commissions. A single sale would easily net this salesman $500 or more. So it would be easy to justify a $4.99 price tag. That's already a 25x increase in price from almost an identical product. I could stop there, but I'm going to go one step further. Let's niche down one last level. Time management for B2B outbound power tools and gardening sales reps. Think about it for a second. If you were a power sales tools rep and you think to yourself, this is made exactly for me, and would happily fork over $1,000 or $2,000 for a time management program that could help you achieve your goals. The actual pieces of the program may be the same as generic $19 course, but since they have been applied and the sales messaging could speak so much to this avatar, they will find it more compelling and get more value from it in a real way. This concept applies to anything you decide to do. If you want to be the guy that services this type of person or solves this type of problem, and even more niched, I solve this type of problem for a specific type of person in a specific counterintuitive way that reverses their deepest fear. Let me reread that. And even more niched, quote, I solve this type of problem for the specific type of person and a unique and counterintuitive way that reverses their deepest fear. That's why a fitness program for generic weight loss might be valued at $19, while a fitness program designed to market to shift to only to night shift nurses might be priced at $19.97. Although the core program is likely similar, eat less, move more, end results. The market matters, your niche matters, and if you sell the same product for 100 times the price, should you? I'll let you decide. Summary points. The purpose of this chapter is to reinforce two things. One, don't pick a bad market. Normal markets are fine, great markets are great. Second, once you pick, commit to it fully until you figure it out. If you try 100 offers, I promise you, you will succeed. Most people never try anything. Others fail once and give it up. It takes resilience to succeed. Stop personalizing. It's not about you. If your offer doesn't work, it doesn't mean you suck. It means your offer sucks. Big difference. You only suck if you stop trying. So once again, you'll never become world class if you stop after a failed attempt. If you find a crazy good market, ride it and ride it hard. And if you pair a grand slam offer with a crazy market, you'll likely never need to work again. Seriously. So have this skill set, the ability to accurately assess markets by taking into account pain, money, targeting, and growth in your back pocket. So that way, when lightning strikes, you can make sure it strikes twice. Having an established how to nail a market, let's get back to pricing. The first step to making crazy money is charging premium prices. All right, we are about 59 minutes in, about 1 hour in. Is anybody here with me? Anybody watching? We getting any kind of value from this? Thank you guys so much for tuning in so far. I'm gonna go another couple of pages and then I'm gonna call it a day because my goal was to go live for an hour and I'm just about at an hour now. But let's go a little bit further and then see if we can't, make a little more, bring a little more value. This is January 2019. January 2019. All I could see was black. My eyes felt glued shut. I was awake, but the fatigue in my temples felt like a 5-pound weight was duct taped to my skull, dragging my eyelids back down. I had to concentrate forcibly to open them. The details of the dimly lit room beamed in. I rolled over to the edge of the hotel room bed, feeling each and every muscle in my body as my weight shifted. Hunched on my side, I could see my clothes scattered to the floor. I was so beat the night before that I didn't even remember taking them off. I had just finished a 5-day gauntlet of keynote after keynote presentation. 2 days of presentations for our highest level clients, immediately followed by spending 2 days planning with our entire company. I had missed a FaceTime call with from my father the day before. I didn't have anything on my agenda for the morning, so I creakily got up, slid into a hoodie and some sweats, and walked to the hotel hallway to call him. After the initial pleasantries, he immediately dove into why he was calling, a parental concern. I saw a picture of you posted with all your clients, he said, but in an unusually concerned tone. I thought the event was for your highest paying clients. I didn't know it was a big event. It looked like you had 1,000 people there. Alone in the hallway and struggling to shake heavy weight of exhaustion still, I tried to gauge where his concern was coming from and what he was getting at. I had to explain to him. It was only our highest level clients. It wasn't all of our clients, I said, just the ones who paid $42,000 a year. Our gym lords, like I told you. Every single person in that picture paid $42,000. He almost sounded like frightened at the idea. Yeah, wild, right? My voice was hoarse from days of speaking and thousands of 20-second conversations. Is it legal what you're doing? He asked. Wow, that escalated quickly. I thought to myself, do they know they're paying you that much? It's funny. Yes, it's legal, and of course they know. It's not like magically siphoning money. That's a lot of money. I hope what you're giving them is worth it. I contemplated whether it was worth the time or effort to dive into this or just ignore it. But knowing this was going to be a thing, I took a deep breath and began to explain. If I made you $239,000 extra this year, would you pay me $42,000? I asked, using $239,000 because it was the average increase in top line revenue that a gym using our systems for 11 months. For sure, he said. I mean, if I knew I was going to make that back, but what would I have to do? About 15 hours of work a week. And how long would it take me to get that $239,000? 11 months. And how much of the $42,000 would I have to pay you up front? Nothing. Just pay me as you start making money using the system. I watched it click. My dad got it. Oh, he said. Well, then, yeah, I would do it. And that's why they would do it. Making shitloads of money breaks people's minds. It literally stretches their imagination so far past what they believe is possible. They assume you're doing something wrong or illegal. They literally can't even. Why? Because they think to themselves, they can't be that much smarter than me or work that much harder than me. So how is it possible for them to make 1,000 times more than me? Enough money that it would take me literally 10 lifetimes to make what they make in a year. In 3 years leading up to writing this book, I took home $1.2 million per month in profit every single month. And that's more than the compensation for CEOs of Ford, McDonald's, Motorola, Yahoo combined every year as a kid in his 20s. Holy shit. That's a fuckload of money. It angers those who believe life isn't fair. It confuses others who cannot comprehend and believe there must have been a mistake. And it inspires a select few who are bound for greatness. I'm bound for greatness. I hope that you are the last category because that is who I'm writing this for. You can do this. You just need to learn how. And I'm going to show you. Price to value discrepancy. I hope that's what you're giving them. I hope what you're giving them is worth it. Those words would probably sting for most. Those words would probably sting for most. Where to go? But when my dad said it to me, I just knew he didn't understand the value we were providing. What I want to show you is how to create and communicate value, aka the worth itness of an offer. In order to understand how to make a compelling offer, you must understand value. The reason people buy anything is to get a deal. They believe that what they are getting, quote, is value, is worth more than what they are giving for it in exchange, price. The moment they receive dips below what they are paying, they stop buying from you. The price to value discrepancy is what you need to avoid at all costs. After all, Warren Buffett said, price is what you pay, value is what you get. So here's the value to price discrepancy. Okay, price here stays the same, value is high, and as the value drips, then you make less money. The simplest way to increase the gap between price to value is by lowering price. It is also, most of the time, the wrong decision for businesses. Getting people to buy is not the objective of the business. Making money is. And lowering price is a one-way road to destruction for most. You can only go down to zero, but you can go infinitely high in the other direction. So unless you have a revolutionary way of decreasing your cost to 1/10 compared to your competition, don't compete on price. Dan Kennedy said, there is no strategic benefit to being the second cheapest in the market, but there is for being the most expensive. So the goal of our Grand Slam offer will be to get more people to say yes at a higher price by increasing our value discrepancy. In other words, we will raise our prices only after we have sufficiently increased our value. This way, they still get a great deal. Think buying $100,000 of value for $10,000. It's, quote, money at a discount. Why you should charge so much it hurts. Most business owners are not competing on price or value. In fact, they're not actually competing on anything at all. The pricing process typically goes something like this. 1, look at the marketplace. 2, see what everyone else offers. 3, take the average. 4, go slightly below the average to remain competitive. 5, provide what the competitors offer with, quote, a little more. 6, end up at a value proposition of, quote, more for less. And the big secret, those competitors they are copying are dead broke. So why on earth copy them? Pricing where the market is means you're pricing for market efficiency. Over time, an efficient marketplace, more competitors entering a little more, more competitors enter offering a little more for a little less until eventually no one can provide any more for any less. At this point, a market reaches a perfect efficiency and business owners participate, making just enough at the end of the month to keep going. The bottom 10%, the 20% of operators get washed out or lose the will to fight. Then fresh businesses enter with no idea and repeat the process of their forefathers. And around they go. In plain words, pricing this way means you are providing a service at just above what it costs for you to stay above water. We are not trying to stay above water. We are trying to make egregious amounts of money that you will have your relatives asking if what you are doing is legal. Again, we are not trying to make to get the most customers. We are trying to make the most money. That being said, since there is no strategic benefit to being the second lowest price player in your marketplace, allow me to give you a brief overview of why I see premium pricing as not only a very smart business decision, but a moral one. Furthermore, it's the only choice that will allow you to truly provide the most value, a unique and strong position in the marketplace. Let me introduce you to the virtuous cycle of price. Price goes down, your client's emotional investment goes down, perceived value goes down, results go down, demandingness goes down or increases, revenue for fulfillment customer goes down. Your business profit goes down, perceived value of self goes down, perception of impact, results go down, service levels go down, sales team conviction goes down as well when you decrease prices. All right, but when you increase prices, it's all the inverse. Okay, it's all the exact opposite. I used to have a framework for most of the material I released because I needed because it needs to be consistently reinforced. The forces of the marketplace will grate you on your belief system. You must stay strong and ignore them. Here's a basic premise of why you need to charge a premium service if you want to serve your customers. When you decrease your price, you decrease your client's emotional investment since it didn't cost that much. All right, guys, I'm getting a phone call, so I'm gonna hop off. Hope this was fun for you. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.